Alright, hi everyone. So, just wanted to make a video a little while ago. I've been kind of busy, but even though there are a few people watching my channel, I still want to post. And I want to talk about gang stalking and how ICE agents have been and still are getting gang stalked. So I want to talk about that shithole Minnesota, Minneapolis. For some reason I can't say the city, but Minneapolis is the city where they're being gang stalked quite a bit. And just imagine if it can happen to immigration enforcement, it can happen to regular people, and it has been happening to regular people quite a lot. So for a long time it has been happening to regular people. But yeah, so these ICE agents, they're followed, they're harassed. A bunch of communists, they would show up, they start whistling, they start being nasty to ICE agents, and it's because they're arresting criminals. One reason why I'll never vote for a Democrat in my entire life is because they support criminals, so I've never voted for them. See, there's more Democrats right there, right in front of you. Dirty, corrupt criminals. They don't do shit. They don't do a damn thing. Anyway, like I said, crime, and another thing is corruption, which has been happening all over this country. And yeah, both sides do it, but the Democrats, they do it the most. They take the cake when it comes to corruption. I'm sure they eat it too. Well, if they support communism so much, eventually they'll have nothing to eat, because that's what happens with communism. But ICE agents, they'd show up to get those illegal aliens, and the Democrats, they show up too. They show up, they're hateful, they're impeding, they're interfering with ICE agents. And as I said, Democrats support crime, so they're gonna impede, they're gonna interfere. Even when we had the Summer of Love 2020, when that criminal George Floyd got shot, they were rioting, and one of the cities that burned was Minneapolis. That was the city that burned. There's a spook behind me yelling, so I'm trying to talk, and the spook, anyway, a low IQ fuck, huh? Anyway, Minneapolis burned back in 2020 because of the criminal George Floyd that got shot. That motherfucker served 4 years in prison for robbing a pregnant woman, and they were burning city because of that fuck. That just tells you a lot about them and how they think, what they represent, how they support criminals, right? Because a real criminal, they don't have the same rights as, regular, average people, like regular Joe and Jane. They don't. Doesn't mean they have to be enslaved and, stalked and harassed for the rest of their lives. No. But if a criminal gets shot by the police and loses his life, that doesn't mean the whole country needs to burn in flames, And that's what these fuckers do. They have criminals in their party. They're brainwashing them, pushing them to commit crimes, and they're literally sacrificing these people to commit more and more crimes so the politicians can create all these fucking chaos. I mean, that's all it's about. It's about creating chaos, and they want this country destroyed. I mean, the way I've been treated, I don't even know what I want. You know, this country is so corrupt. I had no idea several years ago, before we got hit with the Summer of Love. I had no idea how corrupt this country is. And it's very corrupt. But with the ICE agents, it wasn't the city that was just involved. I heard they're saying the state representatives were involved too. And they were using they were using this program, I forget what it's called, Signal. They were using Signal to interact with one another and let each other know that, you know, ICE agents were in a particular area, so they'd show up and they'd start harassing those agents. I mean, it's the literal definition of gang stalking. It's been happening to me and other people that have been harassed, targeted for sometimes no apparent reason, no good reason at all. No good reason at all. And I'm wondering what kind of program have they used? Was it Signal or was it something else? Maybe it was Signal, you know, because I would go to a particular place, they'd show up, and they start harassing me. Just weird people would show up, act like they had mental health issues. That look at me, start screaming, yelling, say strange shit to me, you know. And I was wondering, why do these people show up and they act like they have fucking mental health issues, you know? Man, my hands are kind of cold. I don't think it's that cold outside, but yeah, it's kind of cold outside. It's about 20-25 degrees, but so they use Signal. They start showing up and harass, impede ICE agents. Some agents their cars were rammed. You know, they were, I don't know if they were directly attacked. I know that the commies were spitting at some agents, just getting real nasty. They make death threats online. There's all kinds of shit you hear, you know. And that's all to protect illegal aliens. Why? Well, they're either, I think the low-level gang stalkers, they're either brainwashed. They watch this media, mainstream media, that lies to them, you know, brainwashes them, spreads disinformation, I mean, that's all they're about. Disinformation, you know. They're not real reporters. That's why I don't watch mainstream media so much. I watch independent news and independent journalists. But you know, the main players at the top that are funding this shit, all these riots and all this fucking anarchy, they want to overturn America. I think they want communism, you know. They hate this country, and so they want fucking communism. These Marxists, it's all the same shit to me. Because Marxist, he wrote that book, the Communist Manifesto, it was called. So Karl Marx, he was a closeted communist, pretty much. I don't believe he actually came out and said he was a communist, but he liked communism. That motherfucker liked communism, and these idiots, you know, in these big cities, are standing around with their communist signs. Do they not know history? Do they not know that close to 100 million people lost their lives because of communism? And some of them, you know, they're going to try to turn them around and say, oh, fascism, fascism. I'm not here to defend fascism, but if you think communism is better than fascism, then you're mistaken. You are mistaken. And these people standing around with their communist signs, they should go and read some history. Bunch of stupid fucks, man. So, to me, Marxism, communism, you know, it's socialism, it's all literally the same shit. Socialism is the beginning stage of communism. So, a bunch of these socialists do love communism, you know? And it's disgusting, you know, they call Trump supporters white supremacists and fascists and Nazis. Well, what the fuck are you then, a communist? And look at Joe Biden. Went on live television and he said this is a war on white supremacy. He said this is war on white supremacy, motherfucker. So who's Joe Biden then? A communist? So these people are sick, and Joe Biden was a globalist twat. You know, I know I won't miss him. And when he's gone, when he's forever gone, well, he's going to hell. That's what I think. He's gonna burn in hell. Just like these other Democrats, the CDs, communist demons. You know, they're going to hell. But yeah, I got a little off topic. ICE agents. You know, federal law enforcement is gangstalked by a bunch of losers and lowlifes. And that's what they are, a bunch of losers and lowlifes. And when one of them gets shot, you always hear something come out like they committed some kind of crime, or they did some prison time, or you know, like that latest motherfucker that was shot multiple times and killed. Was this about a week ago? Don't remember his name, maybe because he's not that important. But he got shot, and they were, you know, saying he's a nurse. That nurse guy, you know, he's a nurse. He's a good guy. And there's a video came out not that long ago how he was literally attacking ICE agents. They were driving away from him, and he damaged one of their vehicles. He kicked a bumper. I think it was a bumper, and he broke. It was a bumper or a light. He broke something. And you know, a couple of agents, ICE agents, exited the vehicle. They threw him on the ground. So that motherfucker, he was no saint. He was no saint. He was a criminal far leftist. And that's what some of them are that show up. They're not protesting, they're causing chaos. They're causing chaos, and some of them are being paid. Not all of them, but some of them are being paid. So gang stalking against ICE agents, 100%. ICE agents being tracked, surveilled, stalked, harassed, all because they're removing criminals. 70% of illegal aliens that are being arrested are criminals. 70%. And we're not talking about them coming here illegally. That's a crime of itself. But they come here illegally, and then they can commit more crimes in addition to that. And look, the biggest people at fault for this, and this is not gonna stop unless the politicians start getting arrested and thrown in prison, because they confronted Joe Biden's administration, and they all lied. They said, no, we're not allowing these illegal immigrants in here, blah blah blah. So they were bullshitting. It was all a bunch of bullshit. They even flew them here from other countries on airplanes at nighttime. They flew them here at nighttime. That tells you a lot. Hundreds of thousands of children were let in and were victims of human trafficking. What does that tell you about this party, Democrats? What does that tell you when they allow hundreds of thousands of children into this country and those children go missing? They're victims of human trafficking, child trafficking. This is probably one of the most disgusting crimes, if not the most disgusting crimes. Child trafficking. And that's what these damn demons, that's what they're allowing. That egghead Mayorkas, I don't know how he didn't get arrested. That piece of shit. Mayorkas, I think his name was. The bald motherfucker, egghead. I call him egghead because his head looks like a fucking egg. But yeah, and you see these people protesting and rioting. You can tell something's not right with them. Something's not right upstairs, you know? They're mentally disturbed, and that's what their party is about. Is mentally disturbed individuals that should constantly probably be on some kind of medication, to be honest. They go around, you know, they claim that they're a nurse, they're a doctor, or this and that, and then they say these terrible things and make threats. You know, they make threats against law enforcement. Death threats too. These people, not only are they mentally disturbed, but they're not very bright. You know, they'll go on camera, they show their faces, and they make death threats. So they're just not very bright. My observation, personally, but so yeah, ICE agents being gang stalked by communist demons, the CDs. The CDs are at it again, man. It never stops with these fucks. It never stops with them. You get no peace with these fuckers in this country, you know? The right, they just wanna work, they just wanna relax, live a peaceful life, take care of their families, make money. That's it, that's all. The other side, you know, a criminal fucking gets shot. God forbid a criminal gets shot. Then all hell breaks loose, you know? Illegal aliens. First it was BLM. Then it was the alphabet soup, you know? The LGZQBTRT plus minus period alphabet soup. And now it's the illegal aliens. It just never stops. It's like someone's driving these mentally ill people to overturn this country. And it has to be. It has to be. You know, George Soros, we know George Soros is doing it. Now they're talking about this billionaire in China that was he was an American and he moved to China. I forget his name, but he's funding this shit too, big time, bigly. You know, he's funding it bigly, paying all these assholes to pretty much protest and riot. And they're not just protesters, they're being called agitators, and that's for a good reason. All they do is agitate, create chaos, and the people at the top, these globalist twats, they want to see chaos, they want to see destruction, they want to see people turning against one another, they want to see life being lost. And it's all part of the depopulation agenda, you know? So they can reduce the world's population to about 500 million individuals. Right now we're at about 8 billion, just over 8 billion. So they want about 500 million. All these globalist twats, all these secret society twats. So all these Satanists, they're pretty much Satanists, all of them. So but yeah, I don't know, I might have gotten off a little bit off topic. Yeah, ICE agents being gangstalked. So just shows you that, you know, it can happen to literally anyone, including the federal government. Hey, they try to assassinate Donald Trump, the president of the United States. They tried to assassinate that man. First they tried to lock him up, didn't work out. Then they tried to assassinate him. That's how crazy and evil these fuckers are. You know, and they call themselves tolerant. The last thing they are is tolerant. So gang-stalking ICE agents, and they're gang-stalking regular people, just thinking that they're ICE agents. You know, they follow people around over there in that shithole city, Minneapolis. They follow people, random people, follow them around, accuse them of being ICE agents. You know, trying to stir shit up. And these people are just brainless. They don't have very many brain cells up there, you know? Not much going on up there. And why would you follow somebody around, then approach him and ask them if they're ICE agents, ask them to identify themselves? You know, one day someone's gonna have a bad day and they're gonna lose it on them, you know? They're gonna lose their shit, you're gonna get out of the car, you know, put their hands on some commies, and it might not look good for them, you know? Catch somebody on a bad day, and you know, next thing you know, you're getting your ass kicked. So isn't it called false imprisonment when you stop somebody and you're kind of you're refusing to let them go, pretty much. I think it's false imprisonment. So, but these fuckers don't care in these commie cities, like Minneapolis. So they don't care. They don't care about the law. They don't care about letting all these illegal aliens, by the millions they let them in. 10 to 15 million of illegal aliens. All designed so they vote for them. That's the only reason why it was all designed. They think people are stupid, you know? Yeah, they think people are stupid. And to me, you know, it's not fair to regular, legal immigrants that, you know, they submit the paperwork, they apply correctly, they come here legally, they do it the right way. It's not fair to these individuals because they have to wait their turn. While illegal aliens, they just decide, you know, 1 year they'll just break into the country, cross the border, or whichever way they come here illegally, and disregard our illegal immigration laws, you know? So if you want to argue for illegal immigration, there are people who do it the right way, and it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to the American people, because these fuckers are allowing anyone and everyone to come into the country. They could be murderers, they could be rapists, they could be child molesters. And if your country is so bad, stay in your country and fight for your own country. You know, don't come here. We have a lot of our own issues. We have these dirty, corrupt feds like the FBI, CIA, NSA, and you know, there's still deep state agents inside these agencies. They still work there. Should be in prison if you ask me. But America has its own problems, you know. Don't come here illegally. We don't want you here. We have our own problems. And these politicians, that's another problem. They allow these illegal aliens. They don't ask us whether we want them here or not. And a lot of people do not support illegal immigration because they come here, they commit crime, and they live off the taxpayers, pretty much. Very few of them do anything to provide for themselves, especially when they first come here. So, and I don't want my taxpayers going to them. So, anyway, yep. So that's illegal immigration. They support these criminals. You come here illegally, you're already a criminal. You committed a crime by coming here illegally. So, but I think, man, this is a long video, maybe half an hour or so. I stopped because my hands are kind of cold, but now I got at least one of my hands in a pocket. Yeah, ICE agents being targeted. Gangstalk. Literal definition of gang stalking. That's crazy. It just shows you how crazy this world is. The federal government is being gang stalked. That's what they are. They are the federal government. You think about it. ICE agents, they do work for the federal government. So and they're being gang stalked for all the wrong reasons. The two people that died, they would have lived if they mind their own business. That's it. That's all. All they had to do is mind their own business. Do something productive with your time. You know, don't spy, stalk, and harass people, because you never know when someone can be having a bad day. You know, but these idiots, they, like I said, they don't have much going on upstairs. They'll show up, spy, and harass somebody for no good reason. No good reason at all. Hey, some of them actually enjoy it. You know, they're psychopaths and narcissists. So when when someone loses it, I don't feel bad for the people that suffer because someone loses it one day. You know, that's why you should leave other people alone. You live and you let other people live. You know. So, but the toxic shits, you know, they don't know how to leave people alone. They don't. They don't know what's mind your own business means. You know, when they spy on people, harass them, keep pushing them. You push and you provoke and you poke and you antagonize until somebody loses it and get in your face and they put you in your place, or worse. So but that's disgusting. One reason why I would never vote Democrat is because they've been targeting me for several years that I've known. I mean, I had really strange things happen to me, and I had no idea I was being targeted. But that's, I think I'm getting off topic a little bit. So, yeah, Signal. They were using Signal. I wonder what kind of other programs they were using. Or they do use. They still gang stalk. I don't know if it'll ever completely stop. If the government wanted it to stop, it would stop. It'll stop a long time ago. They throw a bunch of assholes in prison, and if it would still be existing today, it would be almost not noticeable. It would be almost non-existent. Let me put it that way, almost non-existent. But, you know, the government is not stopping this because they are, or they have been recently involved in these crimes. They're still doing it. Maybe not the federal government on a large scale because of different administration, but the local government is still doing it. You know, the cities, the state, which brings me back to Minneapolis and that shithole state, Minnesota. I'd probably never travel to that state. So, if you're not a communist, I don't know why you would travel to that state. If you're a communist, maybe that'll be a good state for you, like New York and California and these other deep blue states. So anyway, if you're a targeted person, maybe that's what they've been using, Signal. to pass the word around that you're in the area, so a bunch of losers and lowlifes show up, start bothering you. Maybe that's one of the programs they were using, is Signal. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, the government is definitely involved, and they've been tracking these ICE agents. They run their license plates in the system like cops do, pretty much. These are ordinary people in the city of Minneapolis, and they're tracking ICE agents by running their license plates. I mean, that's just insane. That's just insane. Oh, they wanted to. They were found out. Once they were found out, they got so scared. Oh, they were saying, "Oh, we're leaving the country. Oh, we're leaving the country. We're going to Cuba. We're going to Cuba." That's what they said. They were panicking. The panic set in very fast for them. Why? Because they know they're criminals and they've been caught. That's why. All this farce. It's all an act to cover up other crimes. And that's what criminals do. Criminals in power. They commit one crime after another crime after another crime. It never stops. And what bugs me the most is many of them are not held accountable. If you don't hold criminals accountable, then they're going to keep they're going to keep committing crimes. So, man, that was a lot of talking. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I've been talking for, I want to say, at least half an hour. It's been a long time. But then I wanted to make a video several days ago, and I was kind of busy. But yeah, here it is. Probably gonna be half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some hot chocolate maybe, because my nuts are cold and I gotta get out of here.